happy you're here today. Well, right now we're going to check in on our little caterpillar friends who have, since being a caterpillar, changed, transformed into a chrysalis. They have spun a chrysalis around themselves and now they're inside and they're going to stay in there for probably 4 or 5 more days at least. And then they're going to emerge or come out as an entirely new insect. Okay, so let's take a quick look. You can see here that there's the lid from our cup that they were living in. And 3 of our caterpillars, they crawled up to the top and they formed a chrysalis around themselves and they were hanging there. Well, 2 of our other friends, they were kind of competing for space on the top of the lid and they got knocked down by another caterpillar on accident. So they just continued spinning their chrysalis around themselves on the ground. So we have them in this net because when they do decide it's time for them to emerge and come out of their chrysalis, they're going to have wings. And if they are out in the open and they have wings, what are they going to do? Fly away or fly around the house. So they're in this really nice little net or a little enclosure that's going to keep them from flying away. Okay, so right now they're at the 3rd stage of transformation, and this stage is called the pupa stage. Okay, it's when they're in a chrysalis, it's the pupa stage. So they're growing, and remember our names for our caterpillars that are now in their chrysalis were Elsa, Teeny, Wiggle, Fuzzy, and Tom. So all 5 of them are in there and they're changing. Soon they're gonna look so different. All right, and today we have a special guest. Adventure Ashton is here to show us an amazing discovery he found in our own backyard. Welcome, Adventure Ashton.
Hello, Mrs. Phillips.
Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's no problem.
What do you have in there?
I have a caterpillar
Wow.
inside of here.
Is there any way we could open this up to take a closer look?
Mm-hmm. Let's take him out of his little cage.
Where did you find this caterpillar?
I found him under one of the bricks in my backyard.
Wow.
Here he is. He's curled up in a little ball so he can defend himself. It's also so he can sleep.
Oh, do you think that he's going to be a different kind of butterfly or maybe a moth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some caterpillars, actually all caterpillars, will turn into some different kind of butterfly when they evolve or hatch from their chrysalis.
Wow, so we don't know yet if that's going to turn into a moth or if it's going to turn into a butterfly. Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us today. He looks a little bit different than the ones that we had, don't you think?
Yep.
Wow.
All caterpillars come in different shapes and sizes.
Wow, so he's not quite ready to evolve yet. He's not in a chrysalis yet, so maybe he's in the stage where he's eating a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they like to eat?
Well, all caterpillars love to eat leaves, like the one
Wow.
he's sleeping on.
Oh, could I hold the leaf?
Sure.
Just want everybody to be able to see our caterpillar curled up tightly. Why do you think he was under a brick?
Well, he wanted to go under somewhere because it's moist and wet for him, which is good for his skin, and it's also a good place to hide.
Wow. Well, he's pretty amazing. So what do you think we should do with him now?
Well, I was planning to release him back into my backyard.
That's a great idea because then once he does turn into a chrysalis or goes through his pupa phase, then he's going to turn into maybe a moth or a butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see that flying around in our beautiful garden. Wow, here you go.
Thank you, Miss Phillips.
Oops, sorry. Thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing your discovery.
Oh, it was a pleasure to see you as well, Miss Phillips.
Thank you. Okay, so now that we were talking about our caterpillars and the fact that they have changed and they're going through a new stage or a new transformation, we'll call it, we're going to update our life cycle chart. And before, this word butterfly wasn't written here. I didn't want to give away the surprise. But now this morning after our morning meeting, we discussed that this week we're going to learn about butterflies. So let's just review real quickly. Our little friends that came in the mail, they started as an egg, okay? They're oviparous. They are egg laying. So they started as an egg. But when we received them in the mail, they were already a larva, which is stage 2. That's when they're a caterpillar. And they started really small and they kept eating and getting bigger and bigger. And then when they were nice and full, they moved on to the 3rd stage, which is the pupa stage. And that's what they are doing right now. They formed a chrysalis around themselves and they're inside. And when they're ready to come out, they will look very different. So I'm going to draw a quick sketch of what the pupa looks like to me. And at home, you can make this same life cycle chart if you want. I do have an activity that I added to the Google Drive that your parents can print out. But if you don't have a printer, you don't need a printer to do this. You can use paper, pencil, markers, crayons. It's up to you, okay? So the chrysalis to me looks almost like a little sack, almost like a little pouch. And we know that it's safe inside there, changing, okay? And right now it's kind of a brownish color, maybe a little yellow and green inside. So I'm just gonna kind of shade in a little bit of green. Probably go back in and add some more color to it later. But this is the stage it's at right now. There's one final stage that it will get to when it's ready in about 4 or 5 days. So we have a little more waiting to do. We have to be patient before it's ready to reach its final stage, which will be the 4th stage. And it's going to turn into a beautiful butterfly. Okay, so that'll be the 4th stage. All right, now we're going to read about a butterfly. All right, so I would just want to show you a few things that are in the Google Drive, okay, that your parents can access through your Clever account. So this is a beautiful color version of the butterfly life cycle, kind of like what I'm drawing up here on our big chart. And you can actually make your own. I didn't put this colored one on there because I want you to color it yourself and to either write the words or cut out the words and glue them on, okay? So there is a butterfly life cycle like this in the Google Doc for you to do if you want. And remember, if you can't print this out, just get a piece of paper and try drawing it yourself and coloring it. You don't have to be able to print it out to make the life cycle of a butterfly. Okay, and then I thought this was really fun and I added this to the Google Doc too. It's a butterfly life cycle book. Now this is an activity that you might want to do with the help of your mom or dad or a brother or sister, aunt, uncle, someone who's at home with you that might be able to help you. So you color and then you cut and then you glue and you also write, okay? But the gluing part is the tricky part because there's different levels. It's like a pretty little butterfly fact flip book about the life cycles of a butterfly, okay? So inside, this says egg. So you're gonna write a sentence. I wrote a butterfly lays eggs. So we drew a picture of little tiny eggs on a leaf. Then on the next page, it says, the caterpillar comes out of the egg. And there's a cute little caterpillar and he's eating the leaves. And these are pictures we drew, okay, up in this empty space. The caterpillar forms a chrysalis. Okay, so, oh, isn't that cute? We meet our caterpillar sleeping in a chrysalis. And then at the last page on the bottom here where it says butterfly, we drew a beautiful butterfly and it says a butterfly comes out of the chrysalis. Okay, so there's some cutting and some coloring and some writing you need to do. And the gluing, like I said, is the trickiest part because you just have to glue a little bit at the top, okay? Because you don't want to cover up all your beautiful pictures and your artwork. And one thing I added were some antennae. It didn't come with any antennae, so I just cut it out of some paper, glued it on the back, and then I curled the paper around with a pencil. I put a pencil in here and I curled it around to make them have curly antennae, okay? So this is an activity. If you have a printer at home and you want to print it out, maybe you can work on it today or another day this week. Have a little fun with it and see if a parent can help you if you're having some difficulty, okay? All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is read you a passage about butterflies. And this passage is also in the Google Doc that your parents can print if they want you to practice reading it maybe more than once, or if you want to read it and talk about it. But I wanted to read it to you together since we're learning about it. Butterfly. Butterflies are insects found all over the world except Antarctica. Butterflies have been around for nearly 56 million years. They have colorful wings that are used for protection. The wings help the butterfly fly away from predators and blend in to their surroundings, or camouflage. Adult butterflies can only drink liquids and prefer to drink nectar from flowers. Say that word, nectar. Nectar. From flowers. They have taste receptors on their feet they use to find the nectar. I never knew that. At the very bottom of their feet, they have teeny tiny taste receptors. So as they're flicking around through a flower, that's how they know where the nectar is to eat. A butterfly's life cycle is made up of 4 parts: egg, larva, which is the caterpillar, pupa, which is the chrysalis, and an adult, which is when it's a butterfly. During the caterpillar stage, it eats mostly plants for several weeks before building a chrysalis. Butterflies can live anywhere from 2 weeks to a year, depending on the species. Wow, so much helpful information in this little passage. So we read about butterflies today. I want you to think about some of the information you learned, and tomorrow we'll talk about it a little bit more. Okay? All right, it's time to check in with Trixie for Trixie's Treasure of the Day. All right, now it's time to check in with Trixie for Trixie's Treasure of the Day. Trixie's Treasure of the Day! What gem do you have for us today, Trixie? Oh, it says, remember, never stop growing. I wonder what she means by that. I guess I think of our caterpillars growing and changing. So you'll keep growing and you'll keep changing, and that's a beautiful thing. So never stop growing might mean never stop learning, never stop changing, never stop learning new things. So I really like this one. Thanks, Trixie. You're so wise. All right. Have a great day.